It's 2026 Moontower Comedy Festival. So excited to be here again. Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents with me, your host Valerie, and sometime kitty co-hosts. Miss Purrington and Mookie are resting at home. These are my recordings with some of the best of 2026 Moontower Comedy Festival performers. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. In addition to podcasts, Comedy Wham brings you articles, album reviews, show reviews, our advice column, our listing of festivals from across the country and the world, our FPIA contest page, and my articles for the Austin Chronicle, thebarbedwire.com, and the San Antonio Current about the Austin and Central Texas comedy scenes. Our most popular features are events page for live comedy shows in Austin, Houston, and DFW, where 100% of the entries you see come from comics and producers. Click the Submit a Show button from the top of the homepage or events page to fill out the survey to get your show listed. It's free and easy. Tag us on your Instagram stories and we'll share your show promo to our followers. We also offer paid promo pushes on Instagram. Speaking of events, come check out my new passion project show, Improv Vintage. You bring a vintage item and we turn it into comedy gold in a fully improvised performance. Want to support these resources we provide? You can donate to Comedy Wham on Venmo or Patreon. Click the Support CW icon on our homepage to see the ways that you can help us. Our podcast was launched in 2016 to bring you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations, and will usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know how the comedy scene is as fascinating offstage as it is on stage. If you like this podcast, please rate and review us. And now we're going to join our Comedy Wham Presents Moontower 2026 Conversation in Progress.
At Second City, so I had it for her for a couple terms, and that's where she saw my wife and I start dating in her class. So I have a long, awesome history with Holly Wartell, and she was one of my favorite teachers ever. So yeah, I got to catch up with her and just, talk about life and comedy. And she came and saw one of the first shows of the festival earlier in the week. One of the lineups that I was on over at Antone's, and it was very cool. It was, it was quite the treat.
Yeah. We were here and we could overhear a little bit of the thing, and I heard you saying, before the show, I don't really want to talk to
I felt
anybody.
bad. I felt bad because she came to see the show, and I was trying to meet up with her before the show, and I was like, hey, I'm running a little bit late, I'll be right over. So in my head I was like, oh, they're not going to go in yet. But then they went in, and then they sat down, and then I was like, as soon as they sat down, I didn't see them immediately, and I told her, I said, as soon as you're in there, I was like, I'm real weird about going near the audience until the show has begun.
Okay.
And I told her, I was like, I'm weird, I'm sorry, it didn't work out, because that was when I was supposed to see her, was on Wednesday.
Okay.
So, we were going to catch up a little bit just before the show a little bit, but it worked out better because we had longer time to get a smoothie and properly catch up and sit down. But I told her, I apologize. I was like, I'm so weird. If people even try to talk to me before the show, when I'm headlining out on the road, people will sometimes, they'll see me, because I set up my own gear sometimes still, depending on the show, they'll see me walk by and a camera or something. They're like, hey, can I take a picture? I'm like, I'm happy to have the show, but I won't do it before the show.
Yeah. Hopefully I struck the right balance, because I do know how you're in work production mode before the show, setting everything up. But I saw you before the stand up on the spot on Wednesday, and I'm like, hey.
Oh, that's fine.
But I knew to, walk away, because you're in engine mode.
Oh, yeah. Putting out fires, as they say.
Yeah. Well, today we are recording live on location at the Stephen F. Austin Hotel Lounge for the 2026 Moontower Comedy Festival. We've got our returning guest. You've already heard his voice. Continued success of his individual projects, Stand Up on the Spot. His ongoing collaborations on the Trailer Tales podcast, We'll talk about the crazy things you've gotten into with them. The Dr. Phil Live with Adam Ray, still kind of something that a lot of people recognize you from if they don't know all of the other great things you've done. And then your other collaboration projects, Red Fuzzy Rug with his wife, with your wife, and 1000% Production Company with Avery Pearson. And I marked, and the new thing is you're headlining across the country like consistently now. We've been talking to him since 2017, I think is our first interview, and here we are. Comedy Man presents our returning guest, Jeremiah Watkins, Volume 9.
That is insane to me.
Yeah, this is like documentary stage at this point.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite impressive.
We could have AI listen and process to each of the episodes and build like Jeremiah through the years.
Yeah. Put some fun slideshow and video together.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, the video would be just your headshots of all the
yeah.
I don't do video at this point. I'm like, video's too hard, and you're like, what can I put on video?
Oh yeah.
Everything.
No, it's as much as I can. As much as I can, I'm filming.
Yeah. So what would you say over the course of the year is your newest thing?
Ooh. My newest thing. It's hard to say. It's kind of like just kind of an amalgamation of everything that's kind of going on. My wife and I are continuing to try to find a home for our project, Red Fuzzy Rug. Mm-hmm. But I've told her, I'm like, this is like, out of all the things that I do and what we're doing together, we picked one of the hardest things to try to crack is selling a show, like selling it as an animated show, specifically like for preschool and everything. So, we've gotten real close with some networks and stuff, and we've taken some notes, and we're continuing to dial it in. Something that I think, going off of what you're saying, what's the newest thing is I just wrote the outline for a Trailer Tales movie that I want to direct and shoot. So that's the next thing, the big venture that I want to try to do in this next year is write it and shoot it. So
always getting into new things, pushing yourself.
Yeah. So that'll be, I've never directed anything long form like that. Mm-hmm. Many sketches and shorts and music videos and all that kind of stuff, and even comedy specials. So I've been starting to dip into directing longer piece stuff, but as far as storytelling for a feature film, that's the next goal for me.
Yeah. Wow. I know you've done comedy cruises before, but how wild is it being like the front and center trailer? What was it? The pontoon, right?
Yeah, the Trailer Trash Tammy Pontoon Party 2 was the official title of it.
How wild was that?
It was absolutely one of the craziest things I've ever experienced. Hands down, like not even close to some other things. It's like comedically the craziest. And I've, like you mentioned, like I've been on the road with Adam for Dr. Phil Live, and we did like that sold out theater run, which was incredible. But this was people who like were really there for us specifically. Like, on Adam's show, I come out at the end and I'm like a feature, like I'm supporting on that show. Yeah. But like, they were legit huge Trailer Tales fans. And I'm excited we're working on editing the Trailer Tales Live from that cruise. And people had signs made. They were dressed up as some of the references that we've made. Like it was a true like event in this theater that we did the show at. And, it was just the energy the whole time was something that I was not used to. And I had to tell my wife about a couple instances. She's like, "Are you confessing things to me right now?" I'm like, "No, I just want you to know, like, so you don't think anything that I was like trying to do anything nefarious or anything on this cruise." But I had a woman walk up that was topless, and she's like, "Can we take a photo?" And I was like, I can't actually. I'm like, I actually can't. She's like, well, what if I cover up a little bit and then we take one? I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. But I just don't want, that I said, out of respect for my wife, I can't.
Yeah.
And she goes, okay. Like, and so I told Maya that, and she was just like, she's like, okay. She's like, that's fine. I'm like, I just didn't want that, even that image out there, just as a family man. Like, this is not that's not really the branding that I'm trying to
No.
to exactly put out there. So so there's stuff like that happened on the cruise that I've never experienced like that, and.
This is what fame is, Jeremiah.
Well, yeah. Well, they had to. What was so weird, and another thing I'm not used to is like on the cruises. If we didn't have security at some points, we would get stuck and bottlenecked where a line would form of people wanting either photos or autographs, which is literally mind blowing to me. I'm like, really? Me? This guy? Like, you want? So then security would have to escort us between shows just so we wouldn't be late from show to show.
Wow.
Because people would, if one of us stopped, then people would be like, oh, can I get a picture? And then somebody else hears that, and then they want a picture too. And I'll just say it's a very nice problem to have.
Yeah.
I was very humbled that people even wanted photos and stuff like that. And so. Yeah, it was a wild experience, wild times.
Yeah. I was surprised that it wasn't booked for this year's Moontower, especially given the cruise's popularity and the continued growth of the podcast.
Yeah, I think with Trailer Tales Live is something that we're exploring. Is the only thing that's a little difficult is just trying to get 3 different comedian touring headliner schedules to fit certain dates.
Yeah.
So they were while I was here in Moontower, she did a sold out show at the Comedy Store in the main room, and then they did another show in Las Vegas the same weekend. So they were booked up out there while I was down here. So,
yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
And shout out to Chelsea Lynn and Libby Higgins, the co-hosts of Trailer Tales. They are legitimately a couple of the funniest people on the planet. I say that all the time. They crack me up so much.
Yeah. Well, I've loved Libby since her Carla days.
So I've been encouraging her to bring Carla back.
Oh.
Because Carla is to me a very different character from her Miss Crystal character. Even though they're both kind of Southern, whatever, I'm like, those are still light years apart as far as energy and everything. And so I've been trying to encourage her to bring Carla back.
She'll make a cameo in the movie.
Oh, maybe. Never know.
And Stand Up on the Spot is pretty much consistently recording throughout the year. New York, LA, Houston from time to time.
Yeah, just where there's it's become a great festival show where we bounce around to do it wherever it makes sense in the different cities on the road. I'm trying to expand it where the goal has been for a while. I think I mentioned in the past, the goal is to get it to a place where it's a big enough show where I can take it to any city and it be a mystery lineup, and I start showcasing even more local comics and stuff like that. That's the goal, is that it'll start just hopefully selling out just as a name, as the Stand Up on the Spot name. So continue to work towards that every year to try to make that a reality.
Yeah. Who are some of the newer names that you've had on that was just a treat or a wild time for you to have on?
He's not a newer name in comedy, but I've been trying to get him for a long time, and I think you saw him on Wednesday at Vulcan Gas Company. It was Joe Dombrowski. We've been trying to line up for a long time, just between LA and New York, of when he could do the show.
Yeah.
And then he just happened to be in town for Moontower for Austin, and he was at the top of my list because I've been trying to get him for so long, and he did exactly what I thought and hoped he would do. He just destroyed. And it was just him, and he was so fun to riff with, and he was just he's the perfect example of somebody who just their energy is funny as soon as they touch the stage.
Yeah.
They have that, he has that thing about him where it's no, I'm taking control of this set right now, and it's going to be funny, and you're going to have a good time, and I don't care if you don't.
Yeah.
Like that kind. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
And-
I mean, you routinely have, major headliners on, but, back to back, you've got Brad Williams who did a headlining set at the theater, and then Joe headlining set at the big theater. So it was, and then Beth, and then the new guy, Timmy No Breaks, who this was actually my first time seeing him live, and I had heard he was like a Kill Tony person. So I confess I don't go see. I used to go to see Kill Tony because of you back in LA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When you were the band leader, but I don't routinely watch Kill Tony, so it was kind of fun to get to see, what the fuss is about.
Sure.
With him, so that was fun. That it was a mix of major head. Well, although you said he just sold out Madison Square Garden.
That's a joke. So
okay.
the reason
I'm
why I
like,
said that is because Kill Tony sold out Madison Square Garden.
He
So
was
the ongoing joke is every time he does the show, I said that he sold it out on his own because he appeared on the Kill Tony Madison Square Garden episode, but it's but just with his character, like his character is so bombastic and like I did this, that kind of a thing. So I always say that he sold out Madison Square Garden on his own.
Yeah, which he continued on the goddamn Comedy Jam saying, he had written this little song called Rollin'.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think it's got legs. So what kind of fun, so we were joking before that, this podcast is audio only and you record anything and everything so that you can go viral on YouTube, which you have. What things have you learned about that? And what things have you learned from your production company, 1000%, that have kind of coalesced into new Jeremiah skills that you can put out into the universe?
Honestly, it's, and this is probably hard for some people to hear, but like it sometimes doesn't matter the quality, whether it's like a film special with 6 or 7 cameras or your phone. It's more about consistency and volume, which is like a kind of a frustrating thing to hear because sometimes you put in so much more effort, and it happens all the time. Sometimes I put in so much effort, like hours and hours, like tweaking stand-up sets that I put out on YouTube, and then they don't hit, but then like I'll throw up something that's like a selfie on my phone and it'll get millions of views. Like it literally, so it's like, it's more about like you get a better sense of just like throwing more darts than just like holding on to one dart for a really long time. And that's something that I've learned just even with being too precious with certain jokes and stuff where I'm like, no, I'm going to save this for a special. And then like it becomes, for whatever reason, like it becomes not as potent of a joke as it used to be, or not as topical or whatever. It's like, I just should have released it. Like it's like, we're in a different age now where it's like also, it's okay to release different versions of the same thing because it's going to reach a different audience every single time.
Yeah.
So I see it a lot with different comics, like same joke, but it's shot at a different club. And sometimes for whatever reason, the version that was shot at one place will take off and the other version does not. Like you just have to keep throwing so many darts.
Yeah.
An infinite bucket of darts.
Okay, so those are all the collaboration projects, although Stand Up on the Spot is your baby. Let's talk about Jeremiah headlining in San Antonio for the first time at the Riot River Walk.
Oh, yeah.
And the bedazzled jeans. And the guy with his wild south of the border story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was...
is that pretty typical now for a headliner show that you do, that you'll spend, and this, I'm a big fan, do you spend this much crowd work, or how do you go through like your mental gymnastics of saying, no, I have to mine this, versus I got a headliner show, I'm going to do my...
I truly will follow my gut on what I think will be most fun in the moment for me and that particular crowd. So I never limit myself of like, unless I'm prepping for a special, then I'm like, I have to get through these jokes. I don't care that there might be some gold with the audience.
Yeah.
It's about me focusing on working on these jokes, like leading up to my special that I've been working on that I'm going to release in the next probably couple months.
Okay.
It's already shot, it's already edited, in the can, as they say. While I was prepping for that special, it's called Crazy Pizza. When that finally comes out, that will truly, what I'm excited about that special is there's zero crowd work in it. It's 100% material. You don't even see the audience the whole time. It's all on me, and that's how I wanted to direct it, is like, you're not even seeing the audience because this isn't a crowd work. It's going to feel very different from all the other content that I put out that's like the crowd work riffing and stand up on the spot stuff. I want people to focus on the jokes and focus on the writing and the material and everything, just to show like, hey, this is what I do. Like, it's not just all just riffing content and stuff that I put out and with my sets. Even though, like, if you come and see me in Moontower, a lot of those sets are pretty riffed, but they're shorter. So I'm like, I'll just play around a little bit.
Yeah.
But like with that, the show that you saw in San Antonio, that was one of those things where it was. I sensed a wild energy about the different people that were in that crowd, and I was like, I'm gonna mine this. And also something that does come into play, I will say, is if I have my DP with me, Chris McMillan, and he's shooting the shows, and I know that he is going to get way better coverage than I would ever get just setting up static shots on tripods around. Okay. He can literally run over and get close-ups like with his camera. Then sometimes I'm like, I might do a little bit more crowd work because he's with me this weekend, and the filming is literally going to be way elevated looking, and might as well explore that since he's with me, and I'm like paying for him to come out, kind of a thing. So try to capitalize on that.
Yeah. You had him open for you at Stand Up on the Spot the other night, and I saw him open for you.
Oh, that was Joey Smith. Joey
He's
Smith,
like Austin boy.
He's an Austin boy, yeah.
How did you pair up with him?
Originally, I met him, I think, in San Antonio, through LOL Comedy Club in San Antonio. I forget if I think that's one of the first places. And then, like, he moved to Austin. I just enjoy him as a person and as a comic, and I think he is one of those people who is slept on as far as talents out here in Austin. So I'm trying to take him on the road as much as I can, and it sounds weird to say mentor, but I guess I am starting to get in that place in my stand-up career where I've been doing it long enough where, I try to give notes and stuff where I see like of stuff that I know that where I made mistakes early on, and where I'm like, or sometimes you just need another set of eyes to be like, what if you take the joke in this direction? So, he's a great comic, and I think he's really funny, and just needs more people to see him. You know?
Yeah. I've really enjoyed, because I think I've seen him 2 or 3 times now, and I enjoy his manager joke. I just love more and more every time I hear it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Gosh, where? So are you in that whole phase of life with the special that you've just recorded and edited, where you're going for distribution? Because you've done self-released basically. Yeah. With your other specials.
Yeah, we have shopped it around. And the market is very interesting right now as far as like what people are buying, and like what it's a very limited number. So I might end up self-releasing again. We're talking to a couple places, but the deals honestly are not great. So
there's a lot of you out there.
Well, that's the problem right now. Yeah. It's really oversaturated at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to end up self-releasing and just owning it outright, and then at a later time I might be able to, to sell it to somewhere. So we'll see. Definitely up in the air, but I'm thinking I probably will end up self-releasing this one as well.
Talking industry and shop, like, do comics hate that they have to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody likes that they have to be their own team anymore, and everybody yearns for the days of the 70s and 80s where you could just be funny and just show up and do your set. And go on the Tonight Show and that be the route.
Yeah.
But it's, it's just where we're in. But yes, the amount of comics I talk to that hate it. Yeah. And it's a matter of like, you either adapt or you don't progress. And it's tough because there's some really funny people that are refusing to adapt and they're not progressing.
Yeah. Unlike you, who constantly adapts and progresses.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, it's also something that has been eye-opening, just me being a dad as well. It's just like each year as my boys get older, it's like you have to adapt to what's going on, like with their ages and their needs and their wants and their interests, and it's ever changing. And I'm just trying to become a good adaptable dad on that front too. So it's yeah. And they're 5 and 3. So they're getting into soccer practice, swim lessons territory. So how is Jeremiah going to adapt to that? Because I know you're a great dad. You want to be super involved, but you're a touring headliner. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult for some of that stuff for sure, and that's where I have to kind of lean on my wife for some of this. But it's hard. Like my son is in a basketball class, kind of camp right now.
Yeah.
And he's doing it every Saturday, and I'm I can't make any of them.
And you love basketball.
And I love basketball, so he's been doing that. And we literally have in the calendar. There's one Saturday that I'm in town, and I'll be there. So it's just making the time count as much as I can.
Yeah.
And right now it's the quality over quantity, and hoping I can get to a place where I can kind of pick my schedule a little bit more and make some of that stuff happen more when things align properly, financially and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Do you if you could project your trajectory, and I guess maybe 5 years would be the sweet spot, do you ever think that, maybe I'll be one of those touring headliners that brings the family with me as I travel?
To be honest, I like to keep it pretty separate. I've taken them a couple times, and it makes
You're torn.
It makes I want to spend time with them, obviously, but that's the problem. Is I'm so burnt by the time the show comes around that I don't think that it's necessarily as good of a show that it could be, because we did a San Diego trip, and we did a bunch of stuff during the day, and then I was exhausted by the time that the shows came around. No, I'm an all in or all out kind of guy, where I would prefer to get to a place where okay, I'm doing, rather than 5 shows on a weekend, I do 1 or 2 on a weekend, and then I'm able to fly back home and not be gone 3 nights, but maybe 1 or 2 nights, kind of a thing. So that would be more ideal for me, where if I could, if I could choose.
Yeah, well, you've progressed, so I'm still, I know I talked about this either last year or the year before, where I was terrified you wouldn't have time for this.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm oh man, he's getting ever closer to that. You're going to be a Paramount headliner, and I'm going to be Jeremiah.
Well, the goal is to still be able to do the check-in every year.
Yeah. I was very, very fortunate. I got to talk to Yakov Smirnoff for the podcast.
Oh, he's great.
And as part of my homework, I listened to the episode that you had with him that you did for his the couch potato comedy couch. No,
Comedy
not the couch. The comedy
yeah,
couch.
Yeah.
And since it's out in the ether, I'm not spoiling any secrets here, but it was very, very funny. We're going to stay with family, hearing the story about your wife's engagement ring.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was.
Which, starving artist, of course.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I also think that it was so. Long story short, I got my wife maybe one of the cheapest engagement rings ever, because she said she didn't care about about the ring. So I was like, all right, let's put it to the test. And she ended up spending more money fixing that ring than the actual cost of that ring over time. And later on, I got her a nicer ring. But yeah, that first ring was a Marshall's purchase. So.
Well, when you're not making bones.
I know.
But I didn't hear it in the episode, but I'm glad to hear that you did, come correct and and upgrade her.
Yes.
Is there anything else that we should be on the lookout for? I mean, obviously you're still working to get the hardest thing, the red fuzzy rug, to happen. The animation. We can anticipate a special, maybe a movie.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. Some stuff coming up. So yeah, special coming out this year. Writing the Trailer Tales movie, and been getting real close with some fun animated like voiceover stuff lately. So hopefully just
more of that.
landing some more of that stuff. So.
Yeah. Because you were the voice of the Joker. With, I already forgot the name of the.
It's called DC Superhero Girls.
There we go.
Yeah. So hoping to do some more of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's the hardest thing you've dealt with this year that you're willing to share in the entertainment biz?
Ooh, it's still pretty fresh. I'll try to gracefully talk about it. I lost a buddy recently that he was a beloved comedian at the Comedy Store. His name was Alex Duong.
Oh, yeah.
And I yesterday, because I wasn't in LA to attend the memorial, I watched through Zoom, and it was definitely one of the hardest things that I've had to experience, just because he was somebody who I love very much, not only as a comedian but as a person, and he's survived by his wife and his young daughter, who's around the same age as my son, and they knew each other, and Maya would take them like different birthday parties and their friends, and we were just dads around the same time, and he was a very, very committed and hard worker, and he's an amazing dad and husband, and that was definitely probably the hardest thing this year, because he's like a roast battle champion guy. He like did the roast battle like on Comedy Central, and so I knew him through roast battle. He was a door guy at the store, a good buddy. We would gig occasionally together, like do some road stuff, and I tried to look out for him. I like recommended him to some different clubs and stuff, and yeah, that was pretty tough, just because lost a member of the comedy community, but it was pretty special to see how many people came out for his memorial, and it was very nice to see that somebody said something that really resonated, that his daughter just inherited a lot of aunts and uncles through the comedy community. So that was a very nice sentiment. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
that was a
when I
tough one.
started seeing that pop up on my feed, and I didn't know a whole lot about him, and I dug in, and I'm like, oh wow, he really touched a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, it was. I think and I don't think even he was aware, which that's always part of the bummer of like when people pass away is like not knowing how appreciated you are in the moment, like to the point where he wasn't like a super famous comedian by any means, but like it got enough attention on social media where TMZ had to cover it at that point because
Wow.
they saw all these people tweeting and making posts about him. So it's like, and he had been on like Blue Bloods and like he had like done stuff. He'd been on Comedy Central, had done Blue Bloods, like he made other TV appearances and commercials and stuff like that. So like it was enough where it's just like, I don't know. It was something where I'm like, man, he would have loved to seen a TMZ video about himself, like and that kind of a thing. But yeah, so that, and then speaking of the special, there was a deal. There's a distribution deal that was supposed to happen with Crazy Pizza that fell through. That was it was a life-changing amount of money deal that fell through because of the HBO Netflix merger happened. Because the merger happened, the deal died.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those two things this year were a little bit like very different things, but there's some rough stuff.
Yeah, and it's hard not to focus on some of that hard stuff when you're like.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, how I look at that stuff, it's a bummer, but I didn't have it before it didn't happen, and my life is still good. So, like, that's how I always look at stuff. Like, when people are, like, get too focused on, like, auditions or something like that, like, oh, this could change my life. And I'm like, well, yeah, it could enhance it. That's how I always look at it. It's like, yeah, it'll enhance it, but, like, I'm very content and very happy with how life is right now. So like, it's just be another, be more dessert. I already have a lot of dessert. I'm very grateful for all the dessert that I have right now.
Yeah.
I get a lot of sugar. So.
Yeah. Okay, got the hot rods down the street.
Sponsored by Sturgis.
I tried the Crazy Pizza game because I'm doing improv now, and I
Nice.
tried to do that as a warm-up, and I failed miserably. Maya would not be proud of my attempt to do her thing, but I do love the concept of the Crazy Pizza. So I'm looking forward to that special coming out. I want to be conscientious of your time. There's one question that I have to ask.
Okay.
Before I ask the usual closing question.
Okay.
Do you ever find you have a heavy hand in the editing of your shows? Mm-hmm. Do you ever find yourself having to edit something out from your shows that you kind of wish you didn't have to, either because the audience messed up or a performer messed up? And how do you navigate that world of saying, well, I know this was all improvised or a riffed or whatever, but I can't put this out there?
I guess I need a little bit more context of what, like, from a performer standpoint, or are you talking about the Timmy No Breaks thing specifically?
I wasn't going to name anything, Jeremiah. I played pure diplomat here.
Sure.
But perhaps I might have attended a live, fully improvised show.
So, and Tim, we talked about it right after the show. He is totally understanding of that I'm going to have to edit some of that set that he did out. So that's the first time that has happened in that context, where it's a personal thing where, like, I don't want to put out certain things on my platform because it looks like I'm endorsing certain jokes, right?
Yeah.
His character is over the top, and he made some like over the top jokes. I get it, right? But the problem is like I'm on stage with him, not playing a character. I'm Jeremiah, playing myself.
Yeah.
And there was a couple things that like I'm standing right next to him, and I'm like, well, I'm cutting this because I visibly look uncomfortable. So like the comedy is already start to go downhill right away. Like I'm not embracing it right away. Yeah. So like he knows that there's going to be some stuff that's going to be cut. On the flip side, that's the first time like on a personal level of like probably there might have been a couple other times where like there's some jokes where like I will edit some stuff out for the comedians where I'm like, I'm looking out for them to make sure that what I think as an audience member, I'm like, they didn't look good in this moment. Let me just like trim this up a little bit. And it doesn't have anything to do with their joke. It's more just like a timing thing or like an interaction of how they come off. And I'm like, let me take care of this and make them look better. And some comics will be like, I trust you, just make me look good. And I'll clean up their sets a little bit here and there. And then there's other things where sometimes it's the opposite, where it's so good and it's so funny that the comic will ask me to take it out so they can keep it for themselves and work on it as a bit. And that's when I'm like, no. That's when it's brutal.
Yeah.
I get it, but to me,
it was born on this.
Right. What I like to tell them, and this is how I feel about it, is like, they're seeing the creation of it, right? Like, it's never going to come out like this again. And if you polish it, it's going to turn into a different joke. So let this live as its own thing, and then work on it and hone it, and then develop it. And that's usually how people will treat it. And then there's sometimes like there's just big comics who they have a crush over set, but they won't let me release it because they're like, I'd rather not. Like Bill Burr did the show, and I was like, he destroyed.
Of course.
He's like, I just don't want it out. But he kills so hard like that all the time, where he's probably just like, I don't know, I don't need it out there.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, you've got enough variety of other, big headliners to do your show.
Yeah. We'll get them on eventually.
Yeah. All right. Well, I didn't do my proper homework the way I usually do. I didn't list out all of your other, future words over the years. So you're going to have to come at this fresh. But every year we revisit your one word to describe your future. So this is completely unbiased and unreflective of past words, past future words.
I'm going to say intricate.
Well, dude, it's been intricate. I mean, you juggle so many things.
Yeah.
But always jumping into a new little phase or aspect.
Yeah, I think it, as, maybe later on in my career, it could be, the word could be broad, but that sounds like I'm selling out if I ever say that as a word, you know what I mean? My new word is broad. I play for everybody. Like, that's never been the goal. So like, I'd rather continue to, develop the people who mess with my weird intricacies of all the different things that I do, rather than get too specific at it, or the opposite of specific. Get so broad that like yeah, I've heard of that guy. I don't know. Like, so. Got a lot of stuff as always that on the horizon I'm excited about that hope to flesh out and realize into reality.
Wow. I'm looking forward to it, as always, as I always do. And next year, 10.
I know. Has it really been 10 moon towers?
I think so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. And the funny thing is, I think the very first time we talked was down there in the lobby.
I think so.
Yeah, I was trying to, you were doing the jam, and I was trying to catch you when you were in the hype mode and rehearsal mode. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, now here we are back again. Okay. Well, that's a wrap on Comedy Wham Presents Jeremiah Watkins, Volume 9. Jeremiah, tell us where we can find you on social media and promote everything.
I'm very present on social media, at Jeremiah Stand Up on socials. YouTube.com/Jeremiah Watkins for stand-up videos, crowd work, mukbangs, etc., sketches. YouTube.com/@StandUpOTS for stand up on the spot. And YouTube.com/@TrailerTalesPod for Trailer Tales, a regular, weekly, everyday podcast co-hosted by myself, Chelsea Lynn, and Libby Higgins. And I'm on tour. JeremiahWatkins.com. Depending on when this comes out, maybe I'll be in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Maybe I'll be in St. Petersburg, Florida. Maybe I'll be in Australia. Who knows? I'm doing some headlining dates there as well that I'm tacking on after the Dr. Phil.
Congratulations.
So I'm very excited about that because that'll be my first time headlining shows in Australia.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. Well, we hope you've enjoyed learning about how Jeremiah continues to be a comedic genius, always learning, always growing, always doing something new. That you heard today just as much as I have. This has been Comedy Wham Presents Jeremiah Watkins, Volume 9. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thanks again, Jeremiah.
Thanks for having me.